We back for another episode. But don't hold me to it. Don't hold me to it. Taste to Consider podcast. We are back. Let me officially introduce the show. Let's go. It's a Taste to Consider podcast. I'm your host, Derek Silver, and we are back for another episode. I keep laughing because I don't even know why I don't know. I don't know how this happened. I don't know where to begin, but I'm here, sitting right here recording. If you've been a subscriber on YouTube, you have seen that I've been putting the taste review drink editions out there for the past few weeks, for over a month now. Going on probably like 2 months, if not 2 months already. But the podcast, I don't know where this came from, but I'm here. I'm here. I ain't put no outline together, nothing. I'm here. I mean, I got topics. Yeah, I got topics, but I didn't do what I normally did in the past. I'm here. I'm here. Um, where do I begin? Where do I begin? I don't even remember the last time I recorded an episode. Um, shoot, is Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde? I mean, that's obviously why I'm back. If you into astrology and all that good stuff, I'm back because of Mercury retrograde. I'm revisiting this podcast thing. I didn't know if I was done or not, but I took an extended break from the podcast. I took an extended break from recording. I took an extended break from social media, particularly Instagram. Um, I was just ghost. I was ghost. Starting back in August of 2024. It's 2025, March 2025. The astrological New Year has already started. It started yesterday. So it's probably no coincidence that I felt like recording even again. Like, it's a lot of coincidences, but aren't really coincidences. So yeah, if you get me, you get me. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm here. You listening, watching. I appreciate you, YouTube, all that good stuff. If you haven't been keeping up with the taste reviews, drink editions, there's a few of them out there. So check them junks out. They've been coming weekly. If you're watching right now, you haven't subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. If the podcast ain't for you, I got the taste reviews drink edition for you. If that ain't for you, then I got the podcast for you. Am I coming back with the tasteful words, the poetry series? I don't know. Like, it was a series. So am I still writing poetry? Yeah, I dabble in that, from time to time, but I wanted to, that was just a moment. That was a series. I didn't know if it was going to be something that was going to be regular or not, but yeah, that's out there. If you ain't seen those yet, it's out there on the YouTube. You got the playlist. You got the playlist for the drink edition, taste reviews drink edition. You got the playlist for the podcast. You got the playlist for the tasteful words. But we here, and yeah. Why I went ghost, why I was just gone from social media, Instagram, all that stuff was I needed to ground myself. I needed to ground myself. Um, Whatever that means for you, but what it meant for me is I needed to ground myself. I needed to kind of like just slow down. I needed to hibernate. I needed to reconnect with myself. I needed to reconnect with God, honestly. I needed to reconnect with my spirituality. I just needed to just slow down. I just needed to stop. I just needed to stop. I just needed to ground myself. Did I ground myself? Yes, I grounded myself. Am I still in the process of grounding myself? I'm still in the process of it, but that time from August until now was a good time. It was a time where I picked up new hobbies. It was a time where I reintroduced myself to old hobbies. It was a time where I just, you know, I did a lot of praying. I did Bible study. I did a lot of reading. Um, and I was just trying to figure out, like, I don't want to say what I wanted to do, but I just needed to sit back and watch. I needed to sit back and watch and listen and and just, figure out what I needed to kind of let go of, or what I needed to surrender to God, you know, um, to the universe, whatever you want to call it, but I'm calling it God. I feel like those are separate entities. I feel like, there's God. God created the universe, sun, moon, stars, quasars. But yeah, I just needed to sit back. I just needed to sit back. I needed to be in silence. I did a lot of meditating, praying, did some writing, some listening. And I feel like God was trying to tell me to chill, to take a break from trying to run the race of life, and just be, you know what I'm saying? And it was a struggle because I'm so used to the habits that I'm normally used to. Um, I'm so used to being around these certain people, or wanting to be around these certain people, and the relationships, family, friendships, and all that other stuff. Um, Even the things that was going on at work and stuff, it was just all about just trying to find a new perspective on my life and the things that was going on around me. Um, and I heard a lot of things. I saw a lot of things. I came to conclusions on stuff, got some revelations, and stuff that I honestly, a lot of the stuff was stuff I already knew. Like, I really needed to be around like-minded individuals, or start, you know, letting go of the quote unquote, I'll guess say, immature aspects of what I was used to, and point myself in the direction of maturing more, evolving more, growing more, and honestly just stepping up more in terms of having the gifts that I have, and hearing from God, and after praying for this and praying for that, and God telling me, look, I gave you plenty of opportunities for this that you praying for, but you ain't stepping up to the plate on it. So, and you keep complaining and coming to me asking me for things, and I keep giving you opportunities. I've had so many opportunities. I've talked about this before. I've had so many opportunities in my life over the years, the decades, of being in certain rooms, people seeing my value, people wanting me to be a part of their spaces and stuff like that. And there have been a lot of things that have stood in the way. Social anxiety, myself, fear, trying to bring people along with me for whatever reason that was, whether it was trying to be a people pleaser, or being super loyal, or even at times being so afraid of having to let go and be by myself in these spaces, and just not taking that opportunity. Like, even today, I was able to be a part of a mentor peer group, and that is something that I've been looking for the past 2 years. I even had the idea myself that I was going to start one. I had the idea, wrote it down, all that good stuff. Excuse me. Burp number 1 and 2. But I was afraid to do it because I was thinking, like, who's going to show up? What if nobody shows up? Stuff like that. And I just let the idea go away. And that, I always had thousands of ideas on things to do, and I will start some of them, and then when be consistent or disciplined with it. If I didn't get the outcome that I thought that I should get based off of how good I felt about the idea, or what I feel I was bringing to the table, stuff like that, and I would just what I'm saying, not follow through with it. But I was able to follow through today. I'm all like from the time from 2017 up until now, doing the podcast and doing my blog and stuff like that. I've received plenty of opportunities for speaking engagements and stuff like that, and I've turned down a lot for those reasons that I stated. The social anxiety, the fear, and just not having confidence in myself and stuff like that. And I followed through the day. It went as well as I thought it would have been. And who knows what's going to happen along with that. I feel as though it's going to continue, but who knows where, that's going to go. But one of the interesting things about it is I came across a video, and I was like, the person in the video was saying, like, a lot of people are afraid to like follow through with things and stuff like that because they're afraid of losing. And I was like, damn, I feel like the video was talking to me. And that's right. Plenty of times where I feel like that, if I start something and, what if it doesn't work out and I'm going to look a certain type of way, and who's going to think of me this way and all that other stuff. And it was just, the crazy thing about it is I knew that it was wrong to think that way or stuff like that, but my habits was so used to, being comfortable that I will revert back to being comfortable. And like I will always have these spurts in my life where I will follow through on things, and it would turn out real good or whatever. But then when that extra responsibility would come, or I feel as though that an extra responsibility would come, or extra eyes on me or something like that, then I will kind of fall back or whatever to that comfortability. And one of the things that I've been working on for the past few years, and just in general when I was going to therapy and stuff like that, was just, pushing through, fighting through these moments or whatever. And I will have moments where I will fight through, I will push through, and I will have other moments where I wouldn't. And the majority would be where I wouldn't push through. And then I would be sitting there praying, talking to God and stuff like that, and just like, what's going on? I want this and I want that or whatever. But I'm getting these opportunities and I'm not following through. So I just had to like just get away and ground myself and think about these things a lot, and talk to myself about it, talk to God about it, write about it. And I really gotta be in I told myself I really gotta be in this stage right now where I just let go, I surrender, don't worry about people pleasing, say what I feel at all times. Just don't be afraid of being myself, just fully being myself, and not, as much as I want to not hurt somebody's feelings or make somebody feel a certain type of way, I'm ultimately making myself feel a type of way by not, pushing through, following through, saying how I feel, and et cetera, et cetera. If I'm going to lose a person, I'm just going to have to lose a person. If I lose them, then that's just how things should be in that moment, because ultimately I gotta focus on what's best for me and what my needs are and stuff like that. So that was pretty much what I've been like doing, what I've been focusing on, what I've been thinking, what I've been talking about to myself, to God, and all that other good stuff. Yeah, so today was a good step. And and seeing all this stuff happening is like these aren't coincidences. Like I can talk deeper into how certain things have lined up over the past couple of months and stuff like that, and my outlook, my new perspective on things. Um, None of this stuff is a coincidence. Like even me sitting here right now is not a coincidence. But I I gotta just not be so focused on everybody else and um an outcome. You know what I'm saying? Or the finish line. I just need to just be be in the moment, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm here. Taste and Consider podcast. Like I said, I got topics. I ain't writing no outline, so I don't know how anything is gonna flow. So I'm just gonna pull up the stuff that I I got. um, but yeah, we in 2025, and of course, you know, Trump is in office right now, and you know, there's all this divide in the country, and all this stuff going on. And one of the things that stood out to me the past couple of days when I was even contemplating like, am I going to record in that, was the that executive order that Trump put out about the segregation in the contracting spaces, and how people have been reacting to that, Joe. And it's just crazy. Let me see if I want to get the right, you know, the right verbiage on this. Let me see. Like I said, I ain't putting nothing together. I'm just flowing right now. Here we go. Let me see if this is right here. So it says Trump administration erases ban on contractors running segregated facilities. And people, man, particularly black people, was just going crazy off of this on Twitter when I was looking at this. Even though I wasn't on Instagram and posting and stuff like that, I would get on Twitter every now and then, just, you know, scroll a little bit and just see what was going on. So black people was going crazy over this. And I'm like, bruh. And I knew even before I read the executive order, I read the whole executive order. I was like, watch. I know that black people are tripping right now. And let me start by saying I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Democrat either. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I am a registered independent. I've been an independent since Obama's first term ended. And black people just be tripping, man. I love my people. I love being black. I love black power, all that good stuff, black excellence, all that black girl power, whatever symbolic term you want to use. I'm all for it. But we be tripping, man. We be tripping. We be getting caught up into the fear mongering. We be getting caught up into not reading. We be getting caught up into not researching. And like I said, I read the whole executive order. It had nothing to do with bringing segregation back. All you saw on Twitter was, oh my God, Trump is bringing segregation back. Trump is bringing segregation back. Trump ain't bringing no damn segregation back. If you read the executive order, basically what that executive order is saying is that contractors in their spaces, their offices or whatever, he basically talking about the LGBTQ stuff. That's all he's talking about. He don't want no transgenders to be able to walk into a see, I'm just gonna say how I think it is, and don't fault me for it, because he's saying that transgender males, hold on, let me say it like this. He's saying women who identify as men can't go into a men's bathroom and vice versa. He don't want men who identify as women going into women's bathrooms. That's pretty much what the hell that executive order is about. It's not taking away no segregation. It wouldn't happen. Like, for real. And I'm not sitting here trying to defend Trump, but I'm just saying, like, black people, we got to start reading. We got to start researching and stuff. We are the most ignorant citizens in this country. We don't research nothing. We don't read nothing. All we do is get caught up into what the news is saying or what we hear on the street, and then we repeating it and then sharing it, and then the story flipped like 10,000 times, and it turns into something else or something bigger. Segregation is not coming back. It's not coming back, and that's not what Trump was doing with this executive order. It has to do with the transgender males, and transgender females going into bathrooms that aren't part of their assigned birth genders. That's all it is. Segregation is not coming back. And that's been one of the most frustrating things since the election, since Trump has been in office, is black Americans. We just believe anything. We just so fearful. Like, black Americans, we've gone through so much stuff in this country that we get so caught up into the propaganda of what the Democrats have been pushing to us over the past few years, that we don't think that we strong enough to get through anything, that we don't have any type of power, that we don't have any type of, resiliency, nothing. You know what I'm saying? We just all afraid. But that's our fault, because we so easily influenced. We so caught up into superficial stuff, particularly materialistic stuff and celebrities and all that other stuff, that we don't use our resources and our mind muscles to put the proper energy into the things that we should be focused on. So, speaking of celebrity stuff, Kanye has been on one of his rants, one of his attention-seeking binges, one of his mental health crisis, whatever. And he's just been all over the place, saying off-the-wall stuff, crazy stuff about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, the situation with Cassie and Diddy, his own ex-wife, and all that other stuff. And it's just like, when are we going to get to the point where we just stop paying attention to him? Like, even if he's having a mental health crisis, like, let's say he's having a mental health crisis. One of the things that I do know from, experiencing mental illness is that you will have a lot of moments where you try to seek attention. And when you're not getting that attention, you can go off the rails. This don't necessarily have anything to do with bipolarism or anything like that. Is it maybe a symptom of it? Sure. But my mindset is, from, dealing with mental illness, depression, anxiety and stuff, is that there will be moments where you will really want attention. You will really feel as though that you need some validation from other people and stuff like that. And if you don't know how to regulate yourself, then all you're going to be doing is trying to get it from other people. And Kanye, being a celebrity and being used to getting attention from thousands, millions of people, that's where he's going to run to. And if he isn't getting it, he's going to go to extremes. And not to say that he's not having a mental health crisis, but I do know at times it could be a mental health crisis, and it could also be that you just used to, it's a habit. You just used to doing this, you know, and it's just a symptom of the mental health crisis, and you could be using it as a an excuse to get what you need in that moment or whatever. But I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, we got to get to that point where we just stop giving him attention, and maybe it will get to that point where when he's not getting that attention, God forbid he does anything to himself. We don't want that to happen, because he did put that out there saying that, you know, since his mom died, he's thought about ending his life every month. We don't want that to happen. But it might just, you know, spark him to seek some help, you know, by not getting the attention and validation from millions of people and stuff. But, you know, I just, you know, I pray for him, and I send a prayer for him. But yeah, it's nothing new to us, but we got to get to the point where we stop giving these celebrities and stuff all this crazy attention, because it's just too much. On to some more celebrity stuff. I I don't really care about it, but I thought it was interesting, the stuff that's going on with Teyana Taylor and her ex husband. Um, Damn, I forgot his damn name. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. That's crazy. Let me get his name up. And I'm Iman Shumpert. Damn, I knew as soon as I saw it. Yeah, Iman Shumpert. And like, we don't know what's really going on. You know, whoever's leaking information, according to Teyana, she said somebody's leaking information. She said you put two and two together, that is Iman, and it probably could be. But one of the things that I thought was interesting about the rumors of their divorce settlement and stuff like that. I didn't care when the divorce settlement first came out, and they was talking about who got what and all that other stuff, and they were saying that Teyana got all of this and Iman Shumpert barely got anything. I ain't care. I ain't care. It didn't even matter to me. I scrolled, saw it, and I was like, okay. But what piqued my interest about it even more was when it came out that Teyana Taylor, the rumor was Teyana Taylor wanted Iman Shumpert arrested for leaking the information. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, one of the things that I've learned over the past few years, particularly doing podcasts and being on social media, reacting to stuff, is you just got to wait sometimes. You just got to wait. You got to let that dust settle and just wait to really hear what's going on. Because society today is, with social media, everybody wants to be first to react and respond to some shit. But I was like, let me just wait. Let me just wait. So according to well, let me first start with the rumor. The rumor was like I said, Teyana wanted Iman Shumpert arrested for leaking the divorce settlement. And my first thought was, if it's true, damn, that's crazy. Why would you want your children's father arrested for just leaking some information? That is harsh. And of course, you know, the first thing that started was the gender wars. And let me jump back. Like, one of the reasons why I stopped podcasting for that time was I found myself in the podcast going in a way that I didn't want it to go. And that was focusing on gender war shit. Like, I was talking too much about that shit. I was talking too much about gender war stuff. And not to say that I would never talk about it on the podcast relationship stuff, because I feel like it's relevant. But I was talking too much about it. I was dedicating whole episodes, and I was making series of episodes just talking about relationship and gender war shit. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that for myself. I didn't like that for the podcast. And I didn't like that for y'all ears or eyes. I didn't, because the shit was stupid. Like, I don't want to get caught up into that crap because that's what everybody is doing. And I'm not everybody. You know, there's always going to be mental health stuff talked about on the podcast, of course. Um, there will be relationship stuff talked about on it. I'm going to talk about TV, movies. I'm going to talk about current event stuff. I'm going to talk about stuff that, talk about stuff that's going on in my life to a degree. To a degree. You're not going to get nowhere near 5% of over 5% of my life, even if you get 5%. But yeah, I was just like, I'm not getting this. I was getting drained from talking about that gender war shit. But yeah, so the gender war stuff started going crazy on social media with it about, their situation. But my first thought was like, damn, you would actually get your children's father arrested for, that. But then I had to say to myself, that's only if it's true. But then I was like, just chill and wait. So Teyana Taylor, she did a live on I think it was Instagram, and she talked about it and said that's not the case. And she also confirmed the rumor that was out there that they split a lot of stuff between them in the divorce settlement. So the initial divorce settlement rumor wasn't true and all that other stuff. And, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and I'll believe that for now because honestly, I mean, one, I don't really care. Two, it's really none of my business. And three, the way that I look at things, like I've said plenty of times before, there's four ways to look at things. You got the two sides, you got the truth, and you got what can be proved. Now we only getting one side of the story so far from Teyana Taylor, and we getting a whole bunch of rumors. So I haven't heard Iman Shumpert speak on it. I haven't seen any documents of their divorce settlement because she said that they're sealed. So we're not going to see that. And what can you prove? I mean, Teyana is the only one speaking, so that at this point, that's the only thing that's being proven right now. She's the only one that's speaking on it. And she spoke with conviction on this live to say that she don't want him arrested. She don't want her children's father arrested and da-da-da-da-da. So I'll have to believe that. But I just thought, that's when it piqued my interest when that rumor came up about, the being arrested for the leaking the information. But yeah, Teyana Taylor and her legal team, they are accusing Iman Shumpert of leaking the divorce documents. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of believe it because Iman seemed to be a little emotional. He seemed like he could be a little bit emotional. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. There's nothing wrong for a man to be emotional. But he don't know how to control his emotions. And he might be in his feelings a little bit since Teyana has jumped out with the Mufasa actor, the UK Bama, the UK actor with the light eyes. So, he might be in his feelings about that. Speaking of people in their feelings, let's get to the Drake stuff, Drake and Kendrick stuff. And I ain't, it's been going on for a while. I didn't really get to talk about it. And I'm loving it, honestly. I'm loving all the things that happen because I cannot stand Drake. I do not like Drake. I don't like Drake so much that my face got straight right now when I started talking about it. I don't like Drake. I think Drake is corny. I think he's fake. I think, when he did the blackface stuff and I don't fuck with Drake. I don't like Drake. Drake, whatever. I don't like Drake. I've always been a Kendrick fan. I like music of substance. Yeah. So there's that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying the as they say today, the crash out that Drake is having. with everything that's going on. Because I think the nigga is fake. I think he's corny. I think there's nothing authentic about him. I think he's a culture vulture. It is what it is. I will say it to his face. I don't give a, that's just how I feel. Like, I don't like Drake. Whatever. I never liked Drake. I just had this feeling like this. No, yeah, and I feel like a lot of his fans, they live through him, as like a lot of people that are so fanatic about certain celebrities. They live through these celebrities, so they take stuff personally and stuff like that. And I just think if you just sit down and just look at the movements Drake has made over the years, there's nothing authentic about him. He's fake. He's corny. He's a dude that has been corny all his life, that got popular and got money and is acting like he's been the ish. You can call me a hater if you want. I don't care. But I've been the ish without money. So whatever. But yeah, he's going through his lawsuit right now with UMG, with against UMG for the song Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us. Like right now in the lawsuit there, Drake he's trying to see I think he's trying to see their contracts. He's trying to see Kendrick Lamar's contract with UMG and stuff like that. Like, and it just shows you right here how corny he is and how soft he is and how much of a bit he is. Like, I can't stand that nigga. And you can call me a hater if you want. I ain't no hater. It's just, this nigga is corny. I've seen plenty of people throughout my life has been corny, and as soon as they get some fame or popularity or whatever, they act like they're a totally different person or whatever. But yeah, whatever, man. Fuck that nigga. Oh, man. Where I want to go to now. Yeah, I came across this article, man. This article, I'm going to get back to some celebrity stuff later, but I came across this article, and this article was in the New York Post, and it says, you don't need to wash your gym clothes after every use. Study suggests benefits to rewearing workout clothes. So I read the article. I'm not going to read the whole thing on the show or whatever. But they was basically saying that, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of water and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. So I know how important it is. I don't have a lot of gym clothes. I don't care about looking a certain way when I go to the gym. I just get dressed and I put in that work. So I know how often, like, I have to wash my gym clothes every week because I don't have that many gym clothes, and I only go through a certain amount of pants, compression, tights, socks, shirts, hoodies, so I know how important it is to continuously wash your clothes. And like, I literally been wearing a lot of the same gym clothes that I've been wearing since 2012. It's 2025. I've been wearing 13 years. I've been wearing a lot of the same gym clothes. So reading the article and just thinking about, just my experience with all of this or whatever, I was just like, man, a white person had to come up with this stuff, because it's been a lot of these type of articles coming up about these type of things. You don't have to take a shower every day, or you don't have to wash your legs in the shower, and you can just let the soap roll down your legs. You don't have to use a washcloth, stuff like that. And it's all been coming from white people. But I'm like, this had to come from a white person. Because just think about it. Like, even just my experience, even if you don't want to put your workout clothes in the washing machine and the dryer on a consistent basis because it's going to wear it out, or you're going to use a lot of water or energy or whatever with using the dryer, you can just literally hand wash the stuff and air dry it. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, you can just do that every day. It doesn't, a lot of these workout clothes anyway, you're supposed to be hand washing, and it doesn't take a lot. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to use a lot of water or a lot of dish detergent, clothes powder or clothes liquid or whatever it's called. You don't have to use a lot of it. You just a dab and a little bit of water and hand wash it and just hang it up and dry it. Or you can literally put it in the dryer and put the dryer on air dry. Like it's not that deep. But I just like, this is some dirty ass stuff. Cause you think about it, you going to the gym, you sweating, you got that bacteria sitting up under your clothes and stuff like that, and then you putting the same thing on again with the smells and stuff like that. Maybe that's why when I go to the gym, I smell the certain smells that I smell, because people ain't washing their damn gym clothes. It's just crazy that these ideas would be popping up like this, because it's just nasty. Now, so that space station stuff with those people that was trapped in the space station, they finally brought these people home. And I've said this plenty of times before, I'm a conspiracy theorist. You know what I'm saying? I like to think critically, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to just believe anything that's been shoved in my face or shoved in my ears. I like to question stuff, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm my own person. I have my own mind. I have my own experiences. I have my own wisdom and stuff. So I feel as though there's nothing wrong with just questioning things or researching stuff like that. But when they showed that damn pod landing in that water, that was the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life. That shit looked. It was fake in terms of it being real, but it looked just as real as any Marvel movie or sci-fi movie that I've seen in my life. The parachutes when it was coming down, the crap looked CGI, and then the fact that all these magnificent dolphins just appeared out of nowhere. Come on now, man. I would sit here and say that I ain't gonna say that I'm a flat earther, what earther, a flat earth believer, but I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't the case. Do I believe in the firmament over the over Earth and that there's really no space? Yes, I do. For one, I believe it because I've seen videos of rockets crashing into the firmament. I've heard it, and also it's in the Bible. It's literally in Genesis. One of the first chapters, they talk about God creating the firmament. Like, you can think I'm crazy in that, you can whatever. That's what I say. That's why I was just talking about this earlier. My podcast, the Taste to Consider podcast, is about me having my own thoughts and opinions and stuff like that. And I respect everybody else's opinions and thoughts and ideals, morals, and all that other stuff. And, you know, that's all it comes down to, respect. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to agree with it, but it's about respecting. And that's what this podcast is about. But that shit, that pod landing and them bringing them back to Earth look fake as hell. The whole thing about it seemed fake as hell anyway. They said they was only supposed to be up there for like a couple of days, and they ended up being stranded up there for 9 months. But they continuously kept having people come up there to interview them. How are you sending people up there to interview them, but you're not bringing them home? Like, come on, man. People got to start asking these questions and start thinking critically. Like, the more and more we get caught up into the habit of believing everything that has been told to us or shoved down our eyes and ears, that the further we gonna be from actually thinking for ourselves. It's just crazy. So Jonathan Majors got a new movie that came out today, Friday, called Magazine Dreams. I'm looking forward to going to see it. For one, because, you know, it's about bodybuilding, and I love working out. I love lifting weights. I love bodybuilding. I love being in the gym. And I think Jonathan Majors is a great actor. I know he had his situation where he was running from um, his ex girlfriend and stuff like that, and how that derailed his Marvel career and being king and stuff like that. But I'm still a supporter of Jonathan Majors. You know, everybody got something in their life that they're embarrassed about, or that they got to excuse me, burp number whatever 6, I guess 7, that they got to deal with or they got to grow from or whatever. But who am I to judge? And I'm looking forward to the movie. But I thought it was interesting, like while he was doing his press tour for the movie, and the movie is about to come out this week. Rolling Stone releases audio from 2022 of him and his ex-girlfriend talking about him allegedly abusing her or assaulting her in some type of way. And I was just like, man, one of the things though, honestly, I don't know what's true on that. Like I said, there's two sides of the story. There's the truth and there's what you can prove. We seen a whole video of him trying to run away from a girl, and he was still convicted of assaulting her. I mean, he had proof that he didn't assault her on that video, but still got convicted of assaulting her. And I don't want to hear that shit about he snatched the phone out of her arm and hurt her arm type shit. I don't want to hear that. We seen who was the aggressor in that situation, and that's just the situation I'm talking about. I'm not condoning domestic violence or nothing like that. I don't agree with none of that. But we talking about that situation. So Rolling Stones, they've been clout chasing for some years though. You know what I'm saying? So we can maybe that audio is real and that. Who knows? But the fact that they came out with it during his press run and all that other stuff, and he's been having to answer questions about it, that wasn't no coincidence. But I like the fact that he's been persevering and he's been saying that he's still, he's still, has work to do and stuff like that. I'm all for redemption and stuff. And I like the fact that people that are interviewing him are trying to give him a chance. And now I'm hoping that, people give him a chance and go see the movie and it's successful and that he can get back on his feet in Hollywood or whatever. Him and Megan Good just got married. And I'm a little leery about them getting married just for the simple fact that Venus and Mercury is in retrograde right now. That's not a good time to get married. So it was just announced a couple of days ago. I don't know if they actually got married a couple of days ago. I'm hoping that they got married before these retrogrades happen. Particularly, you're not supposed to really do anything new during Mercury retrograde. It could backfire, or you can deal with stuff later. And also with Venus retrograde, the planet Venus deals with love and relationships, period. And it retrograding, it can be some hiccups. It might not last. Who knows? So I'll just say this. I hope it works out, but I won't be surprised if that marriage doesn't last, because this is not a good time to be getting married during those two retrogrades. But, I'm a big fan of Jonathan Majors. I salute him. I support him. And I hope everything works out. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Let me see where I'm going to go now. So I was in the barber shop today, getting my hair cut. I wanted, get my hair cut before I went down and met with the mentor and peer group to speak and stuff like that. I usually get my haircut on Fridays anyway, so I was in the barber shop, and my barber, he usually plays music, when he's cutting hair for the whole barber shop. And sometimes when he plays the music, he pulls up YouTubes and plays one of the playlists off of YouTube. And this time he was playing the 70s playlist, and it was playing video of the Soul Train line dances. And I was sitting there, me and him, we was talking. And I said to him when I was looking at the video, I was like, damn, it is crazy how different black women's bodies are now from then to now. Because a lot of the black women that was in those that was dancing on the Soul Train or whatever, they, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't super thick and anything like that. They was shapely, but they was pretty much, you know what I'm saying, like petite. I'll say petite. Petite, smaller, not thick, you know what I'm saying? They was just petite. And we was talking about that for a little bit. And I was just like, it's just crazy, like the beauty standards over the years. And of course, back in the 70s, the standard of beauty was being thin and slim and stuff like that. So it made sense that the black women was following that trend because, everything was being modeled and still is to a degree to this day behind white beauty and what the white how white people see beauty. So it made sense a lot of the black women in the 70s and stuff was petite. They were still shapely, but petite and stuff like that. Slender, small, slim type or whatever. And then you go through the years, 80s, it was still a little bit the same. The 90s, you seen black women getting a little thicker, but still the standard, the beauty standard was still being slim, petite. The early 2000s, you saw women starting to get a little thicker or whatever. And now, you know what I'm saying, where it is now, BBLs and all that other stuff. And even though, like now, BBLs is the thing, and particularly, more black women are getting the BBLs and stuff like that. But it's like the standard still is white BBLs, Kim Kardashian, Iggy Azalea, stuff like that, And me and my barber was just like, one of the things he said was something that I always believed, but he just said it in a different way than me. He was like, he was saying, all this stuff that the women doing and, getting the BBLs, the butts and the breasts and stuff like that. But women was getting breasts even back in the 70s, implants and stuff. But now they getting the breast and the butt. So he was just like, one thing that women just don't realize is men still don't really care about the ass and the titties. They care about the femininity. The femininity is what pull us to you. Not saying that men, aren't attracted to, a fat butt and some big breast or whatever. That's, of course, that's going to get our attention or whatever. But ultimately, it's the femininity. And I agree with him because it's like, this how I say it. And I've said it like this a lot, even to myself when I like see certain things on TV, on social media, and out in public and stuff like that, is that it's a lot of women out here that dress like women, that look like women, but they act like dudes. They have no femininity to them. And I just be like, I be looking at them, I be like, okay, your body says this, but your whole aura, your essence is saying something totally different. And I'm just looking at it like it's just a piece of paper laying on the ground. It is, oh, okay. And like, I know for like, I can't say most men, but I would say, when it comes down to it, like even my barber, he said this when I said what I just said to him or whatever, is that, just like women don't want no dude acting sassy and nothing like that. They want a masculine dude. They want a dude that's acting, assertive, you know what I'm saying? Got some strength behind them and stuff like that. So it's that same thing. It's like that essence. It's that essence. A dude can have all the money and all this other stuff and have this prestige or whatever. But if he don't act like a man, he not going to really hold that woman there. And just like a woman, if she don't have that femininity there, she not going to hold that man. And I just like, it's just weird that I just see a lot of women out here that look like women. They dress like women, but they act like dudes. They act like niggas. And it's just sad that for both sides, honestly, because there's a lot of dudes out here that aren't assertive. They aren't masculine. They, you know what I'm saying, don't hold any type of strength to them. They don't know how to control their emotions and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a lot of women out here that look like women, but they don't act like women. And that femininity is so important. That's that magnet. And I know whatever women that's listening to this right now, y'all feel the same way with that masculinity. It's just something that, you know what I'm saying, just that attraction. That's what attraction is all about. That attraction outside of just the physical aspect. The real attraction comes from that aura, that essence, that what pulls you in. You know, it can't be described. You know, it just grabs you. You gravitate to it. But I thought that was funny though. But it came to my mind when I was just sitting there watching that Soul Train lines and just looking at the women dance and even the men, because it's like, and I noticed this a while ago. In those Soul Train dances, a lot of them dudes back in the 70s, they was dancing. They was doing more than the women was doing. Like they was doing a little bit too much. Like it was just too much. Like go back and look at the Soul Train lines. Go on YouTube, type in Soul Train lines and look at it. And look at how the dudes dancing as opposed to the women. Like the dudes, it seemed like the dudes was looking for more the attention than the women were. It's just crazy. Oh man. So piggybacking on no, let me go to this. This joint right here is wild. So back to some more celebrity stuff. This is AJ Johnson, who played on House Party and Baby Boy. She was Tyrese's mother in Baby Boy. Damn, I'm getting hungry. All right, so let me finish this up. So yeah. Let me pull this clip up. Let me prep this. Let me prep the clip. Let me get the clip ready. I thought this was wild. And I thought this clip was wild, and it was contradictory. All right, so it's a 3-minute clip, right? So all right, let me start it. All right, let me get my finger together so I can hold the pause until I move this volume up. Hold on. All right, here we go. Let me preface the title of it. It says AJ Johnson details the ways she lives a polyamorous lifestyle. All right, here we go.
Would you a story about polygamy? But being the woman who has
who dabbles in it?
Yeah.
Oh, you dabbling?
Yeah.
How is that?
Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing. Let me say this since we're bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
My space in it, honestly, is because since I've been exposed to different cultures and different religious and spirit practices around the world, my thing is I haven't found a lot of men in America who are really appealing to me spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. So my thing is I've got the athlete that I hang out with. I've got the spirit that I pray with. You know, I've got the person that's adventurous that I travel with. So it's more lifestyle than it is the sexual connection for me. It's more like I'm not in a relationship, so I have more than one man I spend time with.
So whatever you don't get over here, you can get here.
Yeah.
Or here.
Now my soul is actually monogamous.
Okay.
But because I can't find that, I don't stop.
Did you decide to dibble dabble in polygamy after that breakup you mentioned that took you to Africa?
It was before that.
Before that. Okay.
Years ago. It was before that.
Wow. Okay.
It was way before that. And so me having a relationship after that was me trying monogamy again. And a large part of me was bored. You know, intellectually I was bored. Again, I want to travel the world. I wasn't finding a lot of African American men who are building their lives to do that. I even say now, when I meet men, I say, you know, I carry 5 currencies on any given day? How many currencies do you have?
Oh, okay.
Damn. God damn.
And that's not a flex.
Yeah,
That's
it
just
is.
it's
But
my life.
but it's intimidating.
Oh
for
well,
sure.
see, here we go with
It's
that.
I'm trying to get my money up in
Right.
one place.
Okay.
You got-
I got an Amex. Amex can go anywhere. I got an Amex.
So I mean, again, this is just my life, right? It's not like I'm trying to say I don't want an American man. I'm just saying my international life, my global options take me into different cultures.
And it would be cool if that man had the same just on the other side. If he had a woman for this, a woman for that, and you for traveling.
As long as he's okay with me doing the same thing, we're gonna have fun.
See, that's a story.
Yeah, I was going to say I would love to hear
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
a story. Because I feel like there's so much things that we're not going to be taught because especially what's going on in this country as far as, the book banning and all types of stuff. But I feel like those type of things,
All right, forget all that extra stuff. This was on a Breakfast Club. So when I first heard this joke, I started rolling. Man. I started rolling because I was sitting here like, come on now. This sound like shit that dudes be saying. This sound like stuff that I've heard dudes say plenty of times before. Man, this ain't got nothing to do with you being in a polyamorous relationship. You ain't even in no relationship. You just jumping around from dude to dude. You just dating. And you just you just dating. Your ass just dating a rack of dudes. And you trying to put this under the guise of it being a polyamorous relationship. We've seen dudes do this when they talked about being in a polyamorous relationship or they don't believe in monogamy or whatever. She just doing all this to make up for not finding the quote unquote perfect partner. That's just simple as that. Like, and she talk about she not trying to flex and all this other stuff, but this ain't no different from all these people trying to put things around them or titles onto them to not be accountable for their actions. Point blank and period. I don't want to say what I really want to say. I want to say that she's moving like a burp number 789. Oh man, she's moving. That's as simple as that. Now, granted, I ain't got a problem with nobody living their life how they want to live. You can do whatever you want to do. You can live your life as however you want to do, because it ain't got nothing to do with me. But let's keep it real. She's single and she's dating, but she's putting it under the guise of it being a polyamorous relationship. Being in a polyamorous relationship, if she was in a polyamorous relationship or polygamy, whatever the hell you want to call it, she would either be one of a couple of other females in a relationship with a man, or either she would have a couple of dudes that she was in a relationship with. But that ain't what she's talking about. She says she got a dude for this, she got a dude for that, you just jumping in, you just dating. Okay, this dude gonna fly me out, so I'm gonna let him fly me out and I'm gonna go chill with him for a little while. I'm gonna come back, oh, this dude wanna hang out with me and this is what I feel like doing right now, then I'm gonna do it. Nigga, you just dating. What the hell? You ain't in no damn polyamorous relationship. But you got these people who try to be all spiritual, bohemian, Woodstock type people, Freddie Brooks from Different World type stuff. That they use these things as disguises, because they don't want to be accountable for how society actually sees them living, I should say. Society may say it as being wrong, but that's just what they want to do, which is fine. Just do whatever you want to do, but you ain't got to be trying to label it. I think we get too caught up into labels and stuff like that, and even get caught up into not labeling something, but then labeling it something else. Well, let me just go ahead and let the clip finish playing. But I thought that was some bullshit. She doing shit that niggas be doing. Let's just keep it real. That shit had me. I was like crying, laughing at the joint. Let me finish playing the clip. I was crying, laughing at that.
Banning and all types of stuff. But I feel like those type of things we need to see. How are we going to get exposed to other cultures?
That's what I'm saying. It's so interesting because, when I started talking about it, the men got offended, and all of a sudden I was the queen of running trains.
The queen of
Choo
running
choo,
trains is
whatever.
crazy.
Right? And then the women were empowered. Because a lot of women were saying, I wanted to explore that, but I've been afraid to, or I can't believe you're talking about it publicly. And I would say, even in the background of it,
I ain't offended by it. I could care less, but let's just keep it real. Just keep it real. Just say you don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. You want to date. I mean, you want to be single and just date whoever you want to date. I mean, it's this new term that's out here. It's called what is it called? It's called non-monogamous. It's another term. It says a non-monogamous relationship, also known as consensual non-monogamy or ethical non-monogamy, is a relationship arrangement where partners agree to have multiple romantic and or sexual relationships with the understanding and consent of all involved. We got to stop this bullshit. This is one thing that I can't stand about getting older and getting caught up into all this new age shit that's going on right now. Like back then when I was growing up in high school, before cell phones and before social media, period. Let's just say before social media. Nigga, just call it what it is. You just single. And you want to date other people. You just want to be out there. You're not exclusive and you want to date other people. We got all these different labels and these different terms and shit to fit people's agendas. Let's just keep it real. People got their agendas for their lives and they slap a label on it and run with it. And they get mad or try to force it on other people or whatever old school tradition has been in place. We already have a word for this. You don't need to call it non-monogamous. It's just single. Your ass is single. Your ass is single and you're dating. Like come on now. Like this stupid shit. Like just say you single, you want to date, and you want to see whoever you want or sleep with whoever you want. Just keep it real. Stop with these crazy, outlandish, high intellectual terms. This shit is stupid. Just say what the hell you want. This shit is stupid. All right. Oh man. That shit got me crying. It had me crying and got me crying and laughing right now. This shit is just stupid. But one thing that about society is today is, and particularly with black people, we get so caught up into all this. We so easily influenced. I'm just like, damn, who raised y'all? Who raised y'all? Like the more and more the years go by, the more and more I thank God that I was raised by country strict parents. It might have had its downfalls, but at the same time, it gave me a solid foundation to not fall for the bullshit, not fall for the okie doke. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Whoo. Oh man. Where am I at right now? Am I done or am I going to keep going? Like, I used to have a whole, like, I used to save videos and memes and stuff to my photos. I'm going to delete all that stuff. Like I'm literally going to delete all that stuff because one of the things, a lot of that stuff was relationship stuff, and I'm just tired of that gender wars and relationship stuff. I'm going to delete all of that, and I would even like text message myself and have like certain topics and stuff like that. I'm going to delete all of that stuff as well. But let me end off with this one right here. This I know they was doing all that DEI, and DEIA stuff. And I'm a government contractor and I work for a government agency. I'm not going to disclose all that information, of course, but we've been having to deal with like removing a lot of that information, DEI, DEIA information. And one of the things that came up most recently that has been trending has been the Jackie Robinson stuff on one of the government agencies' website. I don't even know. But one of the things that piqued my interest about the whole topic was there's a sports journalist. Her name is Mina Kimes. She is she made a comment. Well, she talked about something on the show on ESPN called Around the Horn. And I don't have the clip or what she exactly said, but that's not really what piqued my interest about the whole topic. What piqued my interest was RG3, Robert Griffin III, who used to play for the Washington Redskins. And this is what he posted on Twitter. He said, "This tweet is not about Jackie Robinson. His significance can never and should never be erased. Breaking the color barrier in baseball in itself is not political. Jesse Owens winning 4 gold medals in itself was not political. Jack Johnson becoming the first black boxing heavyweight champ in itself was not political. They all had political ramifications. They all challenged the status quo of racial barriers to fair play, race relations, and civil rights. That should always be acknowledged and never forgotten. They shouldn't be used as an excuse to push political agendas on sports shows on national television to an audience there to consume sports content." So what I do remember from what started all of this was Jackie Robinson's accomplishments when it came to his military service was deleted from one of the government agencies. I believe it was Department of Defense, but it was later put back on there. But one of the things that Trump did with one of his executive orders was he wanted to delete a lot of the DEI and DEIA content that's on government agencies' websites. And Jackie Robinson was one of the things that was deleted. And Mina Kimes mentioned it on the show Around the Horn. And RG3 made this statement that what I just read. And RG3 is a character. Like, he's very good when it comes to sports commentating, but RG3 is dealing with some things. RG3 likes white women, which is nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? He was previously married to a white woman. Now he has a second wife. His second wife is a white woman. He has biracial children. So RG3 is in a conflicting situation in his eyes. I don't feel like it's very conflicting, because the way society sees him is he's a black man, and the way that they see his kids, they're black kids, even though they're biracial. But I feel as though RG3 tries to. This is not the first time that RG3 has had any controversy around his takes when it comes to race. So RG3, I feel as though he's conflicted because he's trying to, him being a public figure and having his platform and stuff, I feel as though that he wants to protect his white wife and his quote unquote biracial children, as well as kind of distance himself from being totally pro-black, because he's married to a white woman and he has biracial children, but he says a lot of dumb stuff that doesn't make sense. Jackie Robinson integrating into Major League Baseball absolutely was political, for the simple fact that there weren't any black people in the major leagues. RG3's other take on this topic was the fact that Jackie Robinson made it to the major leagues because of his talent, not because his race or any political agendas, which is wrong. Because Jackie Robinson wasn't even the most talented black baseball player at the time when he was integrated into the major leagues. And I just feel sorry for him because he feels as though that he can't be pro-black and at the same time be married to a white woman and have biracial children. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel as though you can't be pro-black and be married to a white woman. Am I one of them people? On the surface, yeah. I feel like it would be hard to be pro-black and be married to somebody who is not black, because how are you relating to these people? How are you able to... Yeah, there's just symbols that how are you able to relate to someone who isn't black, who understands you, who understands the struggles that you're capable of experiencing, the struggles that your ancestors have experienced and stuff? Not to say you can't be married to a black person. There's been plenty of quote unquote pro-black people that have been activists that have been married to white people or have dealt with white people. I don't want to go into the list of those people, but there have been plenty of people. And I don't want to dismiss their contributions to the activism of black people in this country. So could I be wrong in my feelings? Of course I could be. Have I experienced it to fully speak on it? No. So I don't necessarily know, because I've never dated anybody outside of a black person. And I couldn't see myself doing that. So it's hard for me to fully give a 100% accurate opinion on it. So I could just give what my feelings are. But I feel as though RG3 is he's kind of tripping. And he's getting a lot of backlash from it. People calling him a coon. But I feel as though that he shouldn't be so... I'm trying to find the right word for it. I'm probably not going to find it in this short span of time. But he shouldn't be so absolute. He shouldn't be so absolute with his opinion on it. Because just because he's married to a white woman and he has biracial children, I think you can have your opinion, you can have your thoughts on it, but you shouldn't be so absolute on it. And I'll just leave it at that. I will say that Jackie Robinson integrating into the major leagues was absolutely political. And I'll leave it at that. Hey, I gave you another episode. It's been fun. I've enjoyed myself. Now is getting to the editing. I got to edit a Taste Reviews Drink Edition that I did before this. And I'll edit this one. As you're listening and looking at this, whether you're on the streaming services or you're on YouTube, will I be back? Am I back? Don't hold me to it. But this has been a Taste to Consider podcast. I'm your host, Dirk Silver, and I'll see you when I see you.